This is Gina Anderson Cohen, founder and CEO of A Sweat Life, and I am here with Conik Runyon, who runs the Basecamp in Chicago. Conik, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, Conik, before we jump in, tell us about Basecamp. What is it? What's the workout? What can we expect in there?
Yeah, so Basecamp is a group fitness class. It is a 35-minute HIIT workout, and then there is about 10 minutes of core and stretching at the end, a cool down period, so it's 45 total minutes. For our cardio, what we do is intervals. So you're going to switch off between our air assault bike, that's what we use for our cardio, and then various strength or resistance training, whether it's a full body, upper body, or lower body day. So today was Tuesday, it was lower body day. We had a more plyometric, quick lower body day, which we focused on ladders, we did medicine balls, and we did some kettlebell movement.
And I went to Basecamp yesterday, which was an upper body day. And I live to tell the tale.
Yep.
Assault bikes are sort of the love it or hate it element of the workout, right?
Yeah, it's a love-hate, I always say, because you love it because you go at your own pace. It's very low impact, and it honestly cools you off a little bit when you do it. The harder you go, the bigger breeze you build up. But obviously, like I said, you can't plateau. It's just the harder you push, the harder it pushes against you. So if you got a sprint, you're going up to that 28 mile an hour mark, 27, you're going to feel it. And it's all at your own pace, which is fantastic.
Yeah. And you're right. It does cool the class down.
It does. Yeah. It's fun. Yeah. It's like I said, it's such a unique piece of equipment because it allows you just to have a full body cardio workout while on a bike. It's kind of
totally. All right. You haven't been open that long. The Basecamp location in the West Loop, right? Tell us when you open and how it's going.
No. So we opened December 6th, and it went. When we opened, we broke the franchisee pre-sale record. So we opened to 350 members. Then Omicron and all that stuff hit. So in January, February, and a little bit of March, basically, we were just losing members. We went down to like 175, 180. From end of March, though, to beginning of April to now, we're right around 340 members, which is fantastic. We're right up there again. And so we're building up. We're having a great community base. I'm a big, big, big believer in culture in the workplace, and of course, with the customer experience. And so I think that is one of our biggest driving forces into providing and grow the best experience, but also growing at the rate we're growing. I mean, in the past 2 months, we probably netted 60 members, 70 members, and that just doesn't really happen normally in these 2 months of July and June when it's so nice outside.
Yeah. You're right. Fitness is tough in Chicago in the summer. Obviously, it's very regional because you see in places like Texas, like Florida, people want to go inside in the summer and out of the heat. But here, folks love to be outdoors in the summer. So that's great. And you mentioned that Basecamp is a part of a franchise. So tell us how long the franchise has been around and why you wanted to get involved in it.
Basecamp Fitness is owned by Self-Esteem Brands. It is owned by Self-Esteem Brands, owns Anytime Fitness, Wax in the City, The Bar Method, Stronger You Nutrition, and Basecamp Fitness. So Anytime Fitness, of course, was the breadwinner, right? It was a very, very successful gym franchise, 24-hour fitness. And from there, it acquired all these companies, Basecamp being one of them. Basecamp has over 16 open locations to date, 6 of which are corporate owned, the 4 in California and 2 in Minnesota. The rest of the 10, I believe, are all owned by franchisees, which is fantastic. So it's a brand new company. It's got a lot of potential, a lot of great growth. And of course, I mean, it's great being so new into a company because you feel like you can give great feedback and it's appreciated and they can make a change off it. That's one of the nicest things. When you have such a big brand like Anytime Fitness where there's 4,000 locations, right? It's so hard to implement a change. Even if corporate or they implement a franchisee change, right? Many franchisees aren't going to change it because it's just A, money, and B, it's just changing that many studios is impossible. How I got into it was I had a lot of family associated with Anytime Fitnesses. I've been in franchising my whole life since I was born, basically. When I was like 4, my family got into franchising. And so from there, I've just known how it works, everything about it. And of course, with Basecamp, that's where I worked throughout high school. And of course, when I come home in the summers in college at the Minnesota location up at North Loop. And so I was very familiar with the brand, very familiar with its leadership, its first employees, and everyone that's part of the team. And so I literally I was talking to them, like employees number 1 and 2 that worked in Santa Monica back in the day. I was like, hey, when is it coming? When's Basecamp coming to Chicago? They probably said that for 3 years, 4 years. And I was like, well, I'd love to franchise Chicago. I think it'd be great. Let's make that happen. And so we all came together. And like I said, the team has just been nothing but support and help me out there and getting it launched. And so we did a very successful pre-sale. And now we are here today with over 340 members. And it's great to see how the brand's kind of come from when I first started there to where it is now. I mean, the logo got rebranded, new systems implemented, and just how it kind of just came to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know you mentioned that fitness is in your blood. You've been to a lot of the Anytime Fitness conventions. Like, you've seen the like love and loyalty that folks have for that brand. Conik, last time we chatted, you mentioned to me that you took a little something from the Anytime Fitness convention. You did it for yourself.
Yeah.
You want to talk through your Basecamp tattoo, you lunatic?
Yeah. So Anytime Fitness, like I said, they've had my first one was Arizona. I believe I was 13 at the time. But that's kind of, especially rooted from my old man. He kind of instilled the culture side of things. But I always realized the importance of culture, right? Anytime Fitness, their big motto is just bleed purple. Like Anytime Fitness's colors are purple. But that's the biggest thing. It's like bleed culture. It's about culture, driving home a positive culture. A culture will always outbeat strategy every time. And so with that, Anytime Fitness, since I can remember I was 13, they do 200, 300 tattoos every single conference. And I'm talking every year. They did conferences every single year up until like 19 when they made them every 2 years because it just got so big. And so, like I said, they do 200 plus tattoos. I mean, I got one, my old man's got one, my other uncle's got one. Everyone I know that's in Anytime Fitness has some sort of tattoo because it's just like, it's bleed purple. And so at conference, I was there last conference in Texas. And the number one employee at Basecamp, first ever employee, Jesse, was in charge of making sure everyone got checked in for the Anytime tattoos, was helping out at the booth. And I was like, Jesse, like, come on, man, like, who's got the first Basecamp tattoo? Like, someone's got to get it, right? Like, and he's like, no one has it. You should be the first. I was like, really? He goes, you won't. He really just basically said you won't. And so I was like, well, I mean, I don't care. I mean, I'll do it. Like, right? Like, and so I ended up getting the first one. It's right there on it. And yeah, so I was number one to get it. I mean, like I said, I'm invested in the brand. I might as well, rep it.
And for the listener at home, it's on the inside of Conik's elbow. I would call it your elbow pit.
Right there. Elbow pit a little bit. Yeah, it's close to the elbow pit.
Yeah.
Not in the elbow pit. That's a sensitive spot.
That's
but it's close. But no, I think it's a great thing. It just it reminds, every day I see it, and I'm just grateful. Reminds me how grateful I am to be here. And also, I mean, it's a great, I just think it's great for the culture. It worked well for any time. I think it's really cool to see the unique tattoos that people come up with. And I mean, if they do 200 every conference, I mean, since I was 13, since I was what? So when I was 20, 13, I mean, that's over 1,400 tattoos, before they started doing conferences every 2 years. And so, I mean, that's insane just how many franchisees people came out and got tattoos. I mean, people would go around showing them off. And I've seen it, all of them. They're great. So really cool.
And I know you mentioned your old man. So your dad's Conik Runyon, who's the CEO of Self Esteem Brands. But what I love about your story, Conik, and just talking to you in general is like your determination to strike off on your own and do something for yourself, but also like learn from the legacy of your family. I think is really powerful. So let's talk first and foremost, like what you like want to do the same as like dad and company, and what you want to do a little differently. Maybe what you've created for yourself.
So the biggest thing I want to do I'd say that I've learned from him and that I want to implement is like culture, right?
Yeah.
They're a big believer in it. I mean, he wrote a book with his business partner Dave called Love Work, and so that alone, like I just learned the importance of culture. I mean, like I said, when I'm at the conference, I mean, I see how people treat each other. I see even at the office, I guess it's a balance of work and play, as they call it. They literally have a sign that's work and play. And that's why I think the biggest thing is just how you treat your employees, you treat your customers, and that relationship you build in the office. And then what I also love, the reason I love Basecamp so much is because I honestly don't work with them at all. So it's nice because that sounded kind of so bad, but it's true because I work with such a great new team where, I mean, like I said, I learned a lot from the old man, but I want to do something on my own in terms of working with other people, right? Learning from them. Like Ben Basecamp mentor, I would not call my dad all my mentor through Basecamp, right? One of my biggest has definitely been Nigel. He's the national director of sales for Basecamp. And so, I mean, I love looking up to other people because obviously I look up to them my whole life. And so it's great to finally learn from other people, have a whole new team, new experiences, and just build off that. But no, I will say, like I said, it's nice trying to figure out your own path and doing your own thing. I love Basecamp. I want to expand Chicago. And now it's just like, how else can I kind of just grow my own little legacy, right? Because, it's like people say, you always have to do it because I can't just do nothing, right? So
yeah, it's fun to watch too because I think like you, even talking through the amount of pre-sales you did, you get excited for that stuff. Like and it's a big number too. I know a lot of studios don't break 200 members ever. So 350 in pre-sales is incredible. Okay, so we've talked a lot about community and culture. Let's talk about culture first on your team. It's really evident to me. I've been to Basecamp a number of times. I'm almost at my strong start, not quite, but let's talk a bit about how you've instilled a culture of sort of working hard, figuring things out, and having fun there.
The premise of culture, like I said, culture is king, I think, in building a studio. So when it goes to my employees, the biggest way, I mean, I didn't really, like I said, the hiring process, did everything on my own. Like, I had no clue what I was really doing, so I kind of just went to the ropes. So the biggest things I'd say to improve your work culture, especially with your employees, is one, you just got to trust in your employees. That's the biggest thing. Trust them to do their job. I mean, obviously you have to keep them accountable, but you have to trust that. You have to trust them and give them the freedom to learn from their own mistakes. I think that's really important. But like I said, I when I first hired them, I remember saying, girls, Alona, Sarah, I was like, hey, when you can do whatever you want to sell memberships. I don't care if you have to make deals, whatever you have to do to get people from the door, do it. I trust you to do it. Only ask for my permission if you have to spend money. That was it. I was like, hey, but like I said, you can do whatever you want. I want you to learn. I want you to try new things, explore. So I gave them a lot of freedom with that to go and be themselves and also just learn to make mistakes, right? And it also is a big thing is very simple. Treat all your employees as equal. So my ambassadors who only work part-time, 4 hours every 2 days, right? Their opinion, I value the same as, say, Dana, who's my, like I said, soon-to-be fitness manager here, who is there every single day. It's just because they see it, ambassadors maybe see something from a different point of view, right? We're all different. We all have different perspectives. And so I love to hear everyone's opinion. And at the end of the day, it makes them feel more valued, I think. And it just brings everyone together. Another way that I do it, I'd say a third way, is I'm always honest with them. I always tell my employees too that just be honest, right? If you're not feeling well, you're going to be late, just be honest with me because I'm always honest with them. I go over our honest financials together. I'm very open about the business. Like I said, I promote asking questions. Like if you don't understand this, ask me why. Because if you don't understand it, you're scared to ask it, you're not going to be able to do it properly. So ask why. There's no dumb questions, but just be open with your employees, be honest. And then, honestly, I encourage a lot of mistakes and promote opportunity through that. So, I mean, one of the things is that as leaders, you're always going to make mistakes. I mean, I made many mistakes throughout my pre-sale process, still make mistakes every day. But it's the mistakes that kind of develop you into a leader. And so, obviously, I want my team to be able to lead studios in the future. And so, I want from there, I encourage them to make mistakes. I mean, when they text me and there's a problem, I'll look at my phone. And unless if it's not a dire emergency, I'll let it sit for 30 minutes. Because at the end of the day, the studio's not going to burn down, right? And they'll most likely figure it out. And so, I do that all the time, and it's worked pretty well. But like I said, I mean, it took Elon Musk 3 rocket failures to finally get in orbit, right? So you have to learn from your mistakes, which is the biggest thing. I think it's just very true. You have to make mistakes. And so I love for them to make mistakes. I encourage it, and then obviously promote the opportunity for them to learn. And one other thing we did to build culture was honestly very simple. We have a book club. We just read a book, and so every other Thursday when we can, we meet up and discuss the chapters. And so last month we did Extreme Ownership, and it was a really good book, and we really, really enjoyed it. This month's book is The Power of Positive Leadership. Really good book. It's fun, yeah. I do the Audible version. The girls like to read it. But we all get notes together and go about it. It's really fun.
I love that. And what I think all of those, well, first of all of those values and then all of those activities, do is they make your people feel valued. I know all of the folks that we're talking to for this series on studios tend to do that. All the great leaders in studio fitness tend to make their trainers, their staff feel valued, because in a lot of studios and gyms, the staff can feel like a commodity. Like they're easily replaceable. Yeah. And not that waiters and waitresses are easily replaceable, because they're not either, but like their wait staff, like in and out. And it's just really nice to see how much you value them.
And it's very true. I mean, I tell them every day how much they mean to me. I always say, I cannot do this all. You guys run the studio. I'm just here like nodding my head yes or no sometimes, they're fantastic. But no, we have a great balance, I think, of just, like I said, work and play. Something I learned from the old man is I'll come in and I'll make a lot of jokes all the time. And they'll make jokes, we laugh, have small talk, get lunch. I mean, it's just a great place because I want to make a great place to work. I want people to enjoy coming to work. And that's my biggest thing. I mean, a simple encouragement, like, hey, I'll buy the whole morning team, you 3, poke, or like they love poke. I'll buy you guys poke if you sell these 3 memberships this morning. And they'll work their ass off to sell those memberships, I'll tell you. And they'll text me, like, poke. I'm like, all right, have fun. Just don't get too much avocado on the side. But no, they're great. So it's a great balance of work and play, and just, like I said, treat them with respect, being open to them. And a prime example is just when I first opened, one of my employees, her alarm clock didn't go off, right? Oh. And so she didn't show up. I was obviously, when I first opened, I was always checking the members because I was building trust. And so I always make sure they're there on time, everything's going well. And her alarm didn't go off. So I showed up, we had a meeting, and the biggest thing, I walked in the meeting, and I didn't say one word. I all I said was, "Sai." I said, "Girl, what did you learn?" And my employee, she said, "I'm going to set 2 alarm clocks." And I said, "Perfect. That was it. I said, "Awesome. That's it. You can have a good day." I was like, "Have a good day. I'll see you. I'll talk to you later." That was it. That was the only conversation. Never had a problem since. And so, like I said, learning from your mistakes. I don't like to point fingers and blame, say, "Do this again, you're in trouble." It's like, hey, what did you learn? I ask, what do you learn? Set 2 clocks. Never had a problem since, right? It happened. Everyone makes mistakes. Like, I'm not going to scold you for sleeping in.
And it happens to everyone. Honestly, everyone. The question is how you handle it. I feel like every leader can learn from that too. If you act like mistakes are the end of the world, like no one's going to come to you when something goes wrong, right?
Yeah. Oh, I make mistakes all the time. My team texts me, "Conik, you did it." I was like, "Oh, sorry. Sorry."
Whoopsie do.
Take ownership of it and make change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about go ahead. You got more.
I was going to say customer. No, I was going to say like there's customer culture then too.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Some of the word. Yes. I heard the C come out, and I was like, "Yeah, are we going to customer?" But my biggest things on that, like, I was big. I told my team when we first started, customer culture is going to be key for them. Simplest one is smile. When someone walks in the door, smile. Before you make any phone call, smile, because if you make a phone call, how are you doing this Basecamp? Or how are you doing it? You smile, you're going to sound happy on the phone. When people walk in the door, smile, it makes you look energetic, and people build off your energy. 2, introduce your members to each other, whether it's through mixers or in class. So I don't know if it happened in your class, but normally coaches say, "Hey, introduce yourself to your neighbor. Hi. Or when it's a first timer, if you were a first timer, I'd purposely sit you next to some more experienced members that I'm closer with, and I'd say, "Hey, this is introduced, right? I introduced you guys, and so you don't feel alone, and now you kind of like made a new friend." I got members now that drive each other to workouts and at mixers. I mean, we have fun. We get drinks. We eat together. I mean, we just had a volleyball league last night. My team, we went 6-0. So proud of us, undefeated champs. Which is awesome. So I got us all individual trophies, which is great. 3 is first name basis. It's getting harder because we're growing, and I'm like, everything I said, I'm not on site every single day or just like all day. So like, I'm still learning to get no names, but know best you can, right? Really encourage knowing your clients' names, and just like learning. That's always great to know. Providing the best service possible. That's very simple, right? So just clean bathrooms, clean towels, trying to accommodate members, super everyone does that. And 5, honestly, ask for feedback, how you can get better, how you can improve your service, whatever it is. Yes, it's a franchise, so it's hard to make those changes, but you can always send that feedback to the people in charge. But no, I just think you just be friendly to people, and say hi, celebrate them. I mean, when it's your 10th class, you're going to get a t-shirt. When it's your birthday, we make a big deal out of it. When it's your 100th class, we make a big deal out of it. I mean, whatever it is, we encourage you, we celebrate you, and we want you to feel special.
Have you had a 100 yet?
I am now. I'm at like 140 something.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about members? Have you had anybody hit the 100 milestone?
Oh, yeah. I was actually looking at it last night because our volleyball team was at dinner, and so everyone wanted to know how close are they. Dana leads our studio, and most classes taken. By the way, her first class was when I first opened, and my first class was 4 years ago. So she is a animal, she's a tank. She's at like 153 classes.
Oh my God.
Then we got Rachel, who's on the volleyball team. She's at like she's at like 140 something, 150. But we got I'd say we got a lot of members over 100 now. It's great. And yeah, it's coming up. Like I said, we got a lot of people that come 5-6 times a week. And so they just kill it. Yeah. Every morning, the classic, our morning veterans or afternoon veterans, we got them all.
Let's talk about your goals too. So we've spent a lot of time talking about Basecamp. Honestly, we haven't talked about the COVID of it all because your opening wasn't super impacted by it. But let's pause for that. Conik, was anything changed, affected, moved because of the pandemic? And if so, what did you learn from it?
I would say the biggest thing that we got hit with was when we opened and everyone's first billing was coming, Omicron spiked, masks went back into place, and the vaccine mandate came out, which was like 1, 2, 3 sucker punches to the face. So, and it also got really, really cold out, so people didn't want to go outside. It's kind of 4 punches. But, no, that's why I say we lost 170 members when we first opened, because a lot of people didn't want to wear a mask. The workout's hard with the mask. I understand. B, vaccine, they so much to their vaccine card. Another reason is they're moving. They want to go like Arizona, Florida, somewhere like that. And it's cold. It's super cold. And so, but the biggest thing was just that Omicron spike. Since then, it's been good. People were coming back in. But no, besides that spike just that really sucked because the masks, people my workout's so hard and a mask, it's just so tough, right? And I don't know, people just want to have this, that's how people are. That's how the human behavior is. And so once that mask mandate came off, vaccine mandate, all that stuff, people came right back.
It's interesting because a lot of studios that were open previous to the pandemic had to go through a series of pivots and learn really quickly and create a digital product. But you sort of had a lot of time to plan.
Yeah, I didn't have to. So we did have, I know Basecamp did virtual workouts right when COVID hit. Santa Monica did outdoor workouts. So I remember when I was working out there for like 2 months, I'd roll the bikes out like 4:30 in the morning every day, out in the parking lot. And eventually the salt from the ocean gets into the bikes. And so you start, I carry like a can of WD-40 in my pocket and spraying the wheels as I push them. It was fun. But no, I'd say I didn't really have any issues like that where I had to shut down and close. I opened, like I said, December of 21. And so it was kind of at that side of Omicron, but there's no shutdowns going into effect. But we did do virtual workouts, stuff like that. But basically, like I said, virtual workouts are virtual workouts. We had some people stay, but it was just like I said, I can only imagine the mental stress, even the pressure of just those studio managers and leadership in our corporate studios and the ones open, even any studio open, right? When you have a member base of 500 members and you have to freeze 500 members, right? Because now, or pause them or cancel them, or people don't come back, and then once you reopen, they don't see the newsletter and they get billed and they're angry at you and you got to refund them. Like there's so many things that happened that just the headaches, just the constant the Excel spreadsheets I saw, like cancellations, freezes, pauses, freezings. I was getting a migraine just looking at them, and so I'm very fortunate I didn't have to go through that. But I'm hoping it never ever happens again because it's probably saw on the labor side from the managers, the assistant managers, leadership. It just looked like so stressful to see them go through. 500 people's memberships, just push them out, freeze and cancel all this stuff.
Yeah. I think that's the empathy you feel for all the other studio managers is kind of universal. Yeah. Everybody feels that for each other. So let's forward. Never again, please.
One of my members owned a gym very close to mine, and unfortunately, COVID destroyed it. So they shut down. They're part of my gym. I'm grateful for them, but it's just tough because, like I said, if you got a great product and you work your ass off, you invest a lot of money and time into this, and then it's out of your hands. You just kind of, it sucks because if you blame yourself, at the end of the day, there's nothing you can really do when it's such a competitive market, A, and B, you got nothing's really working for you in terms of like shutdowns, right?
Yeah.
So,
let's talk about you, Conik. Let's talk about your goals. How many Basecamp workouts do you want to do this year? First of all, that's my first question to you.
Well, July we're doing the summer challenge, Sizzle challenge. So it's 20 classes in July. I just finished 16 today.
Ooh.
16 out of my 20. Yeah,
oh yeah, you can do it.
Non-stop. Oh yeah. Oh, I got it. Yeah. I'll be doing I'll finish 20 by the end of this week. I mean, I have 17, 18, 19. I only have 17, 18, 19, 20, 4 left, so I'm good. I gotta get done before I leave for my cabin next Wednesday. That's all that matters. But my fun note, my friends and my 2 other buddies have a challenge. So my buddy Kevin, he's doing it. He's at like 15, 14. He's great. But Sam just got back from New York. You better start going because if he doesn't go, for every class you miss, you get shot once with a paintball gun. And so if you miss 5 classes, you get 5 just back shots with my paintball gun.
You get shot once. And that's just a private bet, right? That's not all the Basecamp members.
Oh no! My staff said they do it. Now I don't know if I can shoot you guys.
I don't think you should do it.
Yeah, but Coach Andres is actually doing it, but I think he's been slacking. He's got a lot of paintball shots coming his way. Yeah.
Coach Andres.
But no, I want to do. Normally I do about 4 a week. I'd say 3 to 4 a week. And I switch off. I do my own training. I was a skinny kid growing up, and so I love A, lifting heavy, and B, like growing. Always have, and I like eating, and so I probably normally do 4 a week, 3 a week, and I lift 6 times a week. So I normally do like 9, 10 workouts a week when I can.
I didn't know you were going there. It's a lot of workouts.
It's a lot of workouts. But like I said, my industry is health and wellness. So I mean, you're not going to buy a gym membership if I was out of shape, would you? No. So I was going to say, I'm like, hey, you're not going to buy a gym membership if I weigh 275 pounds.
I would. I trust you. I trust you.
I wouldn't buy from me. But no, that's, like I said, that's the goal of Basecamp. I think Basecamp, I want to have 6 studios in the city.
Yeah.
Lincoln Park, Logan Square, great areas. North of Lincoln Park is good. I don't know if River North, I'd touch it. South Loop, I'm not sure. Like I said, when the time comes, the time comes.
Yeah.
And then personally, I think Basecamp's got a great future ahead of it. It's a good brand. Chicago's an awesome market. But I want to eventually my team be able to like regionally direct it all because I don't know if I'll be in Chicago forever. But I think I love it. It's a great brand. It's got great potential, and I think 4 to 6 to city is the goal.
And then the future for Conik, let's say you do everything you want to do with Basecamp. What's next for you?
Great question. Right now I'm on that little journey. I'm on that question mark because I love videos. I love filming it. And so right now I'm in like that clouded space of like making more content stuff because I'm in the fitness industry, right? So I love video content. I love all that stuff. And so I don't want to be, no offense, I just don't like being like the influencer that sells like, hey, promotions probably buy this 20% off discount code, right? But I also know I have my own gyms, like it's not my main source thing. And so I'd probably go down the road of like filming, doing video content. I really enjoy that. I love cars. I love anything to do with cars. I'm a big car guy. I like art. And so, but it's one of those things where like you can't really make good money off cars unless you like spend a whole lot of time doing it. And that's not something I have right now. I'm not sure. That's like I said. Right now I'm focused on like how can I make the best content, the best service for Basecamp. And I think the rest will fall into peace. Like the rest will come. That's the biggest thing.
I agree. Okay, so for our listeners who are interested in trying either the Basecamp in Chicago or any of the other places for the very first time, what piece of advice would you like them to know before going into their first class?
Don't underestimate the bike. So you're going to go in there and you're going to, first 5 rounds on the bike, first 3-5 rounds, you're going to chug 24 miles an hour, 22 miles an hour. And it's going to hit you hard. Just the first class, take your first class as a learning experience, only as a learning experience. Learn the workout, learn how the shifts happen, learn the bike, get comfortable with it. Your second class is about crushing your goals. I always say Basecamp's the master of second impressions. Your second class is where you come to crush your goals. You get started. We're here to kill it. We're here to kick some ass. Your first class is a learning experience, getting comfortable experience. I think that's the best thing.
Amazing. Conik, thank you so much for joining me on We Got Goals. This has been a delight.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, awesome. It's thanks for having me. It's my only second ever podcast interview. It's pretty cool. I love it. It's been really fun. Hopefully more to come, right?
More to come.
Awesome. This is good fun. Yeah, more to come.
And we'll see you all in studio soon.
Thank you for having me. Yes, I will see you soon. Your Strong Start's coming up. So 10 classes. We're celebrating.